To round about this time, Titanic, since boat 6 lowering, has been on a fairly stable keel. However, though, now it's starting to, other crew now start to notice that Titanic is listing to port. Well, the port list also causes issues of loading of boats on the starboard side. Well, to round out this time, boat 2 is now being prepared on the port side. Meanwhile, boat 11 is nearing HQ, and suddenly the bilge discharge, emptying water, affects, boat 11 has to lower near to the bilge discharge, which is emptying water. As boat 11 nears the bottom at around at 1:40, the sea is around 1:43 AM, boat 13 starts to lower as well. Well, meanwhile, Titanic. Well, boat 15 is also starting to be low as well. Although some of those of boat 15 as well observe the propellers actually starting to emerge from the water. So propellers emerge from the water. Well, there's also been thought that boat 2 might have rode under the propellers later. However, it means if it did, it would push the time to break up, so they most likely, they most likely rode under the opposite to propeller which they thought they had, or had just rode under the stern and thought they'd gone under the propeller in the confusion. Well, boat 11 starts to go away. Boat 15 is now starts to lower. The water floods the D-deck reception room. This time as well. Unfortunately for those in the boats, the sea is really calm, so this makes rowing away easier. Well, meanwhile, Jack Phillips goes to inspect while Harold Brydebridge takes over on the Marconi radio and reports back what he sees. Well, the D-deck reception room is now flooding. Well, the port list is actually now around about 13 degrees. heavy port list with 13 degrees of a port list was actually so severe that later an officer ordered all the passengers on the starboard side, on the port side, so to go to the starboard side to straighten the ship up. Well, afterwards, but this stage it's now 1:47 AM, so only 30 minutes till the breakup occurs. Well, now boat 2 has been lowered and is running away from the ship. Will they soon reach the distance for watching the ship go down? Well, meanwhile, Phillips goes back to the radio room and tells Bride about that he sees water starting to flood the forecastle deck. Meanwhile, the windows for boat 4 loading have finally been unlocked and boat 4 can start loading.
A CRM shouldn't be your budget down.
Well, now, sorry for the advert then, by the way. So now, 1:50 AM, Titanic has just over half an hour left. Meanwhile, boat 13 has reached the surface of the water. Boat 15 coming down just over a minute after it. Boat 13 drifts into the bilge discharge and ends up getting jammed on a falls where the bilge discharge pushes it right into the path of boat 15. Well, at around about this time, boat 10 is now being lowered. boat 10 has been lowered. All the aft port side boats have now been lowered. We'll work on the collapsible boats. D and B begins. Well, and boat 4 as well. Well, meanwhile, John Jacob Astor asks if to Lightholder if he can board boat 2 since his wife is pregnant, but the Lightholder, unaware this, refuses. Astor then walks away, basically. Well, meanwhile, boat 13 falls for boat 13 and cut at the last minute, and it drifts away from boat 15, having nearly been crushed. Well, afterwards, well, by now the bow is starting to slowly submerge. Well, to round about this time, so there's 3 boats on the port side still left to be lowered and 2 on the starboard side. Well, Captain Smith gets out his megaphone and yells out to the boats, come back to the ship. He orders the boats to come back to the ship, but only boat 2, boat 2 starts to row aft in the direction of the stern and go to the starboard gangway to load more passengers. Well, something interesting about this is that boat 2 had, the officer in charge of boat 2, Boxall, had reached, well, when his 1912 interview said that he couldn't see the doors, but in his 1960 interview saw the doors were open, said he saw doors open. So around about this time as well, well, boat 4 now starts to be lowered. But at this stage the sinking is starting to increase because of the flooding. Well, now to round about this stage, with boat 4 now being lowered, Lightholder starts to prepare boats D and B. Meanwhile, boats A and C on the starboard side are being prepared at this stage.